What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Thing Sith Council. It's episode 7. It's Ahsoka. It's the spoiler discussion with me and Captain Crunch himself, Mr. Mike Grouchy Kalinowski. We're going to be talking about all of the stuff going on, and I haven't spoken to Mike about this at all, so we'll find out why he hated the episode when we get going. But I want to let you guys know, thank you so much. We're approaching 95,000. And I think my birthday month coming up in October, man. We're trying to hit 100 by the end of October. So we hope that you guys will join us on the adventure here today. Apple Podcast, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Please help us once again as we're building this up. And we thank you guys for being with us. 2 years into this thing, we're almost at 100,000. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right, I don't know what else we're going to talk about besides Ahsoka. Maybe there's some other stories. Not sure. Maybe with the writer strike and the SAG strike on its way to be over. Fingers crossed that we'll talk a little bit more about the production of maybe Skeleton Crew and other things, but we'll see. Myself and Mike Kalinowski, let's do it. It's Big Thing. It's Sith.
I can feel your anger. It gives you focus, makes you stronger.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sith Council. Big Thing. It's myself, Mike Kalinowski.
Me. Yep.
We're back.
Uh-huh.
Am I wrong? Did you
What?
end up not liking this one either?
Well, no. You come in there with them hot, because I posted a picture the other day of Lowe's, and they had the Christmas stuff up.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's the best, most wonderful time of the year. And I was like, is it really? And someone's like, oh, of course, Grinchy Constantly. I was like, wait a minute, you don't know me? I'm like, I'm Mikey Christmas. I love Christmas. But I was like, oh, it's a Sith Council thing. I think they all think I'm
a grouch.
A grouch.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, they
I figured it out.
you
what
do
it is.
represent a certain portion of people, though, too.
I hope so.
You do.
And that was the point of this. That I wasn't supposed to watch Rebels or Clone Wars going in. I wanted to be the general audience.
I don't
the
mean
GA.
just that. I don't mean just that, though. You really,
Just a jerk in general?
No. It's you ask a lot of questions. Although I will say we were talking about it. Who is it?
Here we go.
Who was I talking to about your whether it was Coy or it might have been LaQuasto. I can't remember who it was. But we were talking about how ridiculous of a rant it was that you were so heated about Hera's earmuffs. It was so stupid.
I would think it'd be Coy, because Johnny, I don't know if would understand what I was talking about.
It was probably Coy, but it was such a.
Was it stupid?
I loved
or was it a fact?
No, it was dumb.
Hold on, there's two things I've gone off on here: the whales and those earmuffs, and they're both valid.
You like the whales now?
I do like the whales now,
Okay,
but like
right.
your guys back, I think it was back in Mando, and I was having the rant about it. But the earmuffs, no, I'm gonna die on that hill. It's stupid.
Listen,
Mom, listen. The Yoshi is like, got things on like this, huh? Couldn't have gone. Oh yeah, I hear it, Jason.
It's the Force, man. It just goes through it.
I thought she can't hear the Force. She's not Force sensitive, is she?
Who knows?
Everyone is in the fucking Star Wars now. The Force is with me, and I'm with the Force. Yeah,
either way, I thought it was the most ridiculous, pointless rant, but I loved it.
All right.
I loved it.
But I figured out
Yeah.
with this episode why this show's not connecting with me. I figured it out.
Still?
I figured it out, what it
go
is.
ahead.
And again, I'll
You think
say
it's
this.
animation writing?
No, not at all. I think it's well done, well shot, well acted at certain points. I find that because all these characters, I have no attachment to any of them. I feel I'm an outsider watching a story unfold instead of being.
So your fear about the Rebels thing that you didn't bother you in episodes 1 and 2 wound up being the big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like the characters that I'm most when they come on screen, I'm really into are Thrawn or Shin and Balin, the two of them, because they're new characters.
Right.
I'm with the audience. I'm started their journey together. So the Rebels journey, all the crew,
feel left out.
They're middle of the journey. I have no attachment to them. So when things happen, I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, because they missed them. I get that. Whereas if you've watched Rebels and all these people that watch Rebels, they're like, this is the greatest thing in Star Wars I've ever seen. And I get it.
Right,
because if you've been invested for 5-6 years,
Sure.
this is the culmination. So that's why it doesn't work for me. That's okay.
I think they do a good. Look, I'm going to tell you this: that I think
Tell me. Here we go.
my biggest issue. I'm just going to go because I actually it's my favorite episode of the season so far. But I will tell you my biggest.
You got to tell me why, because again,
I will.
I go on Twitter. I like to go on Twitter after I watch the episode and just hear this was it. My favorite episode of all time, and I was like, "The Boy Who Cried Wolf." You just said that last week.
I haven't.
I know
said
you
that.
don't. I know you don't. I know you don't. But the same, the usuals every week.
Fine, but because I'll tell you the reason why I didn't do a reaction to it this week.
You didn't.
I sat on my couch. I watched it on here. I turned up the sound.
Yeah.
And it sounded fantastic. It was about the same, not the same experience of when we saw it in the theater, but it was similar. You know, to where watching it to where I could just sit back and watch it. I thought the sound was incredible. I thought it had a lot of great Star Wars moments, and I have a lot of the images that we'll go through and talk about also. But I'm going to give you my biggest problem that I have with it. It drove me crazy, and I talked about it in my spoiler review. Why do they keep doing this cockamamie thing?
Cockamamie?
Cockamamie.
What is this?
Hey, you know in Rebels, you were all about building that lightsaber, man. You wanted to build that lightsaber. You built it. You lost that one. You built it, and then you gave it to me at the end. But here it is back. Nah, I'm gonna throw people around with the Force, but I don't want to use it. I have 2 blasters. I'm gonna give that to you. Nah, it could probably be over a lot easier if I use my lightsaber. But I'm gonna throw you around with the Force. What are you doing? Like what?
That's a Rebels question, I guess. I don't know.
No, that had nothing. That was a. Why do you keep doing this, taking away Jedi moments from people? It was the only thing that drove me crazy about the episode.
Well, then you saw. I didn't have a problem with that because it wasn't, But I saw now the spoiler this morning. It's like, so people think he needs a lightsaber to be a Jedi.
Who said that?
There was also. I don't want to call him under the bus on the air, but and I saw the threads of like, so just because he doesn't use his lightsaber, he's not a Jedi. Remember when Luke didn't use a light, and it's just like
it's not that he's not a Jedi.
I know, but it's just like
what drove me.
People
nuts
assume the Force and the jet lightsaber go hand in hand, and now he doesn't do that. And people are like, "You're not a Star Wars fan. Jedis can use the Force and not use a lightsaber."
Yeah, but what I throw back is
they're insufferable.
What I go back is this: it's the weapon
of a Jedi. I know.
Like what are you doing? It's like it goes hand in hand, a Jedi and a lightsaber. But it's like. I did not say that because he didn't use it, he's not a Jedi.
Know. But there's contingencies already blowing up about that out there.
It's just driving me nuts. It's like, it was so stupid. But other than that, the stuff that Thrawn's plan,
he's great.
And the stuff with Morgan is hilarious, where she's like, what are we doing? Like, they're getting back together. If you look here, I'll show you on my computer. Everything is going from plan. And he's so calm, and he knows what he's doing. And he sent all these idiots out to go and do their thing. The stormtroopers are just stormtroopers. They're not, even though they're dead, I guess, but they're not. It'd be pretty easy to beat.
Is that the reincarnated? Or are they
I
called
think
the
that's what I think that's what it is. Because if you look at like what happened to Marek, he just kind of just disappeared.
The witch magic.
I think that's what Enoch and all those like Goldface Magoo. I think all those guys are
witch magic.
I think witch magic.
You think so?
I think so. But it looks like, and even when he shows up on the hologram.
Yeah,
he kind of comes in with like a mist. You notice that?
Okay.
Yeah, but so that when it starts, so let's go through the start here.
Let's do that.
All right, we started off in Coruscant, which I like the way that they kind of played this out, and it's always great seeing kind of the different. Now we've seen Coruscant in a few of the other shows, but it's obviously during the time of the Empire. But we start in like this conference room, and they talked about the hearing and how this hearing was going to be. We got to pull We got to pull Hera's stripes because she's messing around. Now, where was the one thing I would ask, as far as this testimony that they're having everybody? Where was the woman who saw the space whales coming after her? Remember the one? Remember the general that was coming in, and they're like, "Get out of the way!" And the space whales.
Yes.
When didn't they have her testify?
Because that would get the story resolved faster. So can't have her there. But we're gonna put Goofy McGillicuddy X-wing pilot in there. Why is he there?
You think they're using him too much? Because he was part of it.
But the girl who's the ship that was going to get them
should have definitely had her.
Should have been in there. She'd been on the other side of the bench.
But this whole thing, Mon Mothma, and they're doing this. He comes in.
Here he comes.
He's like, no, this guy's great. By the way, you don't love this guy.
I don't have any problem with him. You got a name for him though?
Yeah,
I was waiting for a good name.
Douchebag McGillicuddy.
McGillicuddy.
I think he was douchebag McGillicuddy. I think like this actor is fantastic.
Yeah,
he makes you hate him.
But it's good writing too.
Are you being facetious?
No, I'm saying it's good writing. Makes you hate him.
Yeah, he is like really and what I also liked about it, because he's got something against Hera, and Hera just will not back down from this guy. Like gives him the business.
Yeah. Have you seen the memes about this show with Hera and why they're watching it?
Her butt?
I didn't notice it before, but this episode, man, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
You're a big fan. You're a big fan.
Yeah, man. Like everything shot. Look at the thing. It stands out. It stands out, man. Come on, man. And then I thought I was like, yeah, every time it's on, it's
there.
It's thick with 3 C's, man.
Well, I'll just say you're not lying. But nonetheless, there you go, Mike.
Here it is.
Just for you. She's on trial.
Yeah.
And I loved this part of it, though, because this is why I think he needed to be there.
Okay.
Because they say, because I love the fact
I like the outfit on him.
But
Cool
Dushka
outfit.
McGillicuddy brings up, well, listen, this is all fairy tale. You got space whales and Jedi and blah, blah, blah. He's like, you're full of it. He's like, where is everything? And then he stands up and goes, wait a minute. What about the stuff happened on Mandalore? To let us know it's all connected.
Okay.
And then he's like, wait a minute. That's my point. Everything that Gideon did, he's a lunatic. Yeah. And that was shut down. I was like, oh, okay, great. So it's like, I love the fact that they acknowledged it. I love the fact that they kind of tied that in because it shows more. And it shows you also in the timeline kind of where it's all at. You didn't like that?
No, I did. I like the fact of that they liked the actor and he was in one episode and now he's kind of become a full-fledged character. But it'd be kind of me like if we were watching, I don't know, an episode of New Hope, or not New Hope, Empire or Return of the Jedi, and then Wedge pops up to have a bunch of lines. Like,
it's a show, though.
I know. I know what I'm saying, but
he probably would if it was a show.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
No.
Well, maybe you're wrong. Because
right.
Wedge had something to do in Rebels, so you're wrong.
Oh, God, here we go.
That's right. But anyway, so they have this moment where they're talking about Gideon and all
sharpen
that.
that jacket, though.
He does. He does. And Hera's fighting back.
Yeah.
And she's like, listen, I'm telling you, I'm not BSing you guys. And so our boy, you didn't like this.
My eyes rolled so far in back of my head, I saw my own ass.
Different page.
Different page. Because that was, to me, the Leia moment. And we can't get Leia. We can't have Leia. We can't do Leia.
Exactly. I think that's why I
Throw
liked
up the hologram. Should have been boom.
No. So listen, there's so many reasons
Mon Mothma, what you're doing is wrong. I'm General Organa, blah, 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 blah.
So many reasons why you can't do that.
Why?
Part 1.
Here we go.
Because they did it in Rise of Skywalker, right? It was.
Did it? Leia showed up in hologram?
She was in the movie.
I know she was in the movie, dude. But I was saying about a hologram.
Yeah, but it wasn't. But she had passed on. All that stuff was old footage. But either way, that's the least. This was shot before the strikes, and had they used like the AI program for her voice, which is what they would have done the same way they did for Luke and Vader and everyone too. At the time that this would have gone up, it would have been bad because AI voice and all that type of thing.
You don't. Okay, so do we know? Did Fisher voice Leia in Rogue One? Though Hope.
No.
Okay.
It was. Yeah, but it was a different.
Why couldn't they have done that? And because it's a hologram, it doesn't need to be so realistic.
I mean, she was younger at this time period. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they could have, but I just think, like I said, used
her daughter. Like
Billy
they did
Lord.
Like they did in Rise of Skywalker.
Maybe. Look, I just think that
I didn't want her strutting in there.
I know, but
I wanted the hologram.
But I also think that it's the best version of C-3PO that we've gotten since the original trilogy. Because what he was terrible, and he was.
I guess for me,
barely even used.
I guess for me, the point is with those two, there was a period where they had to show up in everything, and like Rogue One, that one shot of them in Rogue One, like you eye roll. Like, I get it. I get why she sent it.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was because again, she was even in Empire.
I like douchebag McGillicuddy. Like, what? We're gonna take this droids?
Right.
But bullshit.
Right. And
yeah, I like that. I was with him on that part.
And then Chopper gets all pissed off about it too, which and Carson's like, relax, calm down.
Settle down, you.
But I did like, because look, it also, what it did was it was able to carry the weight of how powerful Leia still is. It was the thing that I was telling you that I was concerned about. How you didn't even mention Leia?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You talked about it last episode, and this was their go through. Like, she's there. We got this guy.
It's a tricky one. I give him a pass.
I bring message from General Organa. Boom, throws it down. Boom.
I know. I give it.
Hologram goes up, and she's like, it would have been more powerful. Instead of like,
I don't disagree.
So
but also,
Leia's off screen. Look at me. There we go. Off screen. No, leave it. Leave it back. So Leia is telling us that these events have happened. Take my word and her word for it.
I know, but
that's exactly what it was.
Dude, I give him a pass on it.
Nah,
I give him a pass.
I'm the grouchy McGillicuddy. I'm saying no pass.
Not for that. If it
thou shalt not pass.
She was still alive, and they couldn't sign her to a deal. And if it was a character that they couldn't sign to a deal, and then they did something like that. I'm like, I get it. We couldn't come to terms with it, so they had to do something along those lines.
So you think it was more of a behind the scenes?
It's both. The fact that it's like, look, let's if we can get, because C-3PO is familiar enough to where it's like, yeah, it would make sense. She's been with him. We even see when he shows in Force Awakens when he shows up with her.
Yeah,
he's always been her droid.
I know, man.
I like the idea of it. And I actually really dug how they used her
for a show that's now expanding the galaxy to other galaxies. It makes everything smaller to me. It just does. It's because it just makes, and I can't explain it, and I'm probably wrong on people like Mike's an a-hole for this, but it just feels smaller.
Argument. I think there's an argument for that for certain things. My personal opinion for that one is I don't feel it for this because of the circumstance. Because again, would it make sense that Leia sends in the droid to do it? Look, she could have sent in a hologram. That's absolutely true. But the idea that look what they did with Hayden, which we'll talk about in a second, right? That's what they did. You would have had 2 holograms.
But still, the Hayden thing worked. It was like, that works.
Because he's still here.
I get it. If it's outside of the technical where like the actresses pass, so there's the gray area of what, then 100% I get it and I see why. But if it's not like, I don't know. I have no idea about that. I can't.
It's a tough one, but I actually think it worked because they didn't try to end really.
Was it Anthony Daniels? Do you know?
That guy would do a
I know.
Doritos commercial. I mean, he's come on. Of course, I love Anthony Daniels, but he's like, hey, we want you to dress up and do my kid's 6-year-old birthday party. They pay me enough, and I'll do it. Of course, he did it. And then nothing. And all the respect, Anthony. I love Anthony Daniels, but he'll do anything.
I know.
And God and.
Why not?
And by the way, and let me also make this clear: if I was him, so would I.
Yeah, if I had a character like that,
so would I.
I would be doing that.
What do you want me to do? You want me to put on the suit? What are you gonna do?
Creating my lifestyle that I have.
Gotcha. I need to pay a couple bills. What do you want me to do? Okay, yeah, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
I can't stand when actors don't want to come back for roles. Like I know there's a lot like season finales. I remember for Smallville and stuff, they wouldn't come back. I'm like, that role made you what you are, and your livelihood. Yeah, I would 100% do it for the fans.
He'll put that 100%. Suit on no matter what. Want me to go to Vegas? Fine, pay me. Want me to go? Pay me. It's like Paul.
You pay me. You
pay me. Yeah, it's exactly. It's like, hey, they want you to be in this. Of course he's going to do it. I would bet $1 million that was.
I would hope so.
And if it wasn't him in the suit, it was definitely his voice, obviously.
Yeah,
so.
but I hope it's him in the suit.
He might. But look, maybe he's also. I mean, shoot. Hey Siri, how old is Anthony Daniels?
Anthony Daniels is 77 years old.
I don't know. He's 77 years old. I guess, pay me a little bit extra. I'm 77 now, putting that suit.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
But it's definitely his voice. Either way. Okay. So
what do you got next?
This is finally Mon Mothma steps up a little bit here because she's just doing a lot of like nodding and sighing for a lot of it. And then finally she goes, okay, well, look, if we got Leia signing off, then shut your ass, McGillicuddy. We got we have. And look, they're very proud of themselves. They're happy, and they get the deal done. And Mon Mothma comes up to her. She's like, "Look, I know you're full of crap."
That was good.
It was great.
She's great.
She's great. She's like, "I know you're full of crap." Leia didn't approve this, and she's like, "Well, she did. She just did it after I left," and that was great. And it was the good kind of Rebels moment. And then Mon Mothma goes, "Okay, enough of trying to figure out whether you're full of crap or not. How real is this threat?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's real." And then we slam to the the credits or the titles rather, and I thought I'm surprised that you didn't love that opening. I really am. I thought the opening was fantastic.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, the episode I enjoyed it.
All right.
I'm not. It's a well-made show, and if I had watched Rebels or Clone Wars, I'd be losing my mind probably.
But that you didn't necessarily have to be invested in Rebels.
And again, because I met Mon Mothma before,
right? It
held more weight.
So you didn't when you were watching this. Like, so what was the Kalinowski living room like watching that scene? Was it eating pretzels, like kind of here we go, or was it one of these? Okay, not a bad scene. Here we go.
I think I had a book.
Yeah.
That I was flipping through, like
not even paying attention to it.
Oh, it was there, and I had
maybe
it wasn't. I wasn't reading the book. I think it was a DC book or something.
Maybe we switch over to Capes and Kells.
Maybe.
We switch.
But hey, here's the thing: if it doesn't draw me in right away, and I'm not, it's like, yeah, here we go. Got to sit forward and pay attention. If I'm just kind of like, okay, well,
yeah, but I think you already made up your mind. Because
we're 8 episodes in. Yeah, damn right. I should make up my mind. By 7, I should have made up my mind by now. I should have made up my mind by now. I would hope so. I should hope they wouldn't wait till episode 7. Like, we're finally going to hook these people that haven't watched Rebels or Clone Wars. Now we're going to get them.
Earmuffs.
Exactly.
Earmuffs. I want you guys to put on earmuffs because it's time to also let you guys know about 2 of our wonderful, wonderful sponsors. I got to tell you guys both about AG1 and Rocket Money. I'll tell you about both of them right now. Come on, man. Rocket Money. Rocket Money. So many different times you sign up for these apps and you go, oh, that's a cool app. I'm going to do that for like 3 weeks. And then I'll remember to change it. And then I won't get charged. And then you do. And you get charged like $9.99 a month, $12 a month. And you're like, how the hell did I spend so much money on something I never use? Well, that's what Rocket Money is able to do. Rocket Money is a personal finance app, and it finds and it cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, and it helps you lower your bills all in one place. It is crazy for me that more people don't A, know about it, and B, aren't using it. I mean, everybody should be using this. I've been using them for so long, even before they were even called Rocket Money. But now they're called Rocket Money, and they're fantastic. They monitor all your expenses in one place. They recommend custom budgets based on your past spending, and they'll send you notifications when you reached your spending limits. I get it all the time. I get updated. Hey, your credit's better. You have this, you have that. You spent this much. Stop spending on this. Look at this. Look, you have the subscription. You never use this. Do that. It's helped so much. I can't even tell you. I am not great at organizing, and it helps me organize all of my finances. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way. Go to rocketmoney.com/thing. 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 This is one you will absolutely thank me for. Thank me for. And you should. I thank myself for using it. I love Rocket Money. I love talking about AG1. It's the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it every day. Set it up. I put it in this cup. I've told you about this zoo cup that I have. I love this stupid zoo cup, but I love AG1 because I put it in the cup, just mix it around, and that's it. I get better gut health. I have a boost of energy. I have my immune system support. It's helping my sleep quality. That's what's really great about it. It helps my sleep quality. I'm just never been a person that can keep up with that supplement routine. And here's 3,000 different vitamins. Take this point, take this, then screw that. I take it once, put it in that cup, shake it around, and that's it. And I felt so much better. I have a extra pep in my step because of it. And I don't understand why people want to take a whole bunch of different things. You can just do it all. 1 scoop of powder, put it in water once a day. That's it. Because it was designed with ease in mind. You can live your life healthier and better, and you don't have to complicate your routine. I love getting the single serving, the AG1 travel packs for me because they're just simple. If I have them, even when I go to a screening, sometimes if I forget to take it, I'm like, oh, I got my travel pack. I'll take it now, and I never miss a day. If you want to take ownership of your health, you try AG1. You get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. drinkag1.com/bigthing. Check it out. It's every single week I get somebody saying, hey, I tried it. I signed up because of you. You've been telling me about it, and I love it. Be one of those people. Tell me about it. Get control of your energy. Get control of good sleep quality. Drink AG1. All right, thank you again to our friends over at both AG1 and Rocket Money. I've talked about them many times over. I'm getting people, again, thank you so much. And look, the one thing I will say is this, because I haven't really addressed it too much. I put it on a post. We were affected heavily about the stuff that happened that you've seen from Theo Vaughn and Dan Murrell and the thing with cast and all that. We were absolutely affected bad, and it set us back quite a while. So I want to thank all of you guys again. If you have the means, to support the show, if you're able to get one of our wonderful sponsors, if you're able to do it. If you can't, a like and a comment and a share, that helps more than you can possibly imagine using a Star Wars thing. It really does. So if you're able to, check out our great sponsors at Rocket Money and AG1. We're super happy to be with the ad agency we are now. They get us wonderful sponsors like them. So there you go. All right, jumping back into it.
Yeah.
Space Whale time. And
Great.
they're coming, they're jumping out, and the space whales do look fantastic. I agree with you there. But before we even get to the space whales, there's this amazing training sequence where this was what we heard in that trailer. there was that trailer,
yeah.
the dialogue
Yeah.
of Anakin, and he tells her, and it's Clone Wars Anakin, and it's this.
He looks great.
He looks great now, and I don't even know if they necessarily de-aged him in this, and I don't think they necessarily.
I don't care. It doesn't
I don't
matter.
think they needed to because of the hologram, and you really can't tell anyway. But it's Clone Wars haircut. It's all that. He's given her these lessons, and I think what I said, Mike, in my spoiler review was that I really am so happy that this is the one that really allows Hayden to shine as Anakin more so than he did in the prequels. And it comes with age, it comes with better directing.
Yeah.
Love George Lucas, but the directing and for that character was not handled the best. And then you've got this where he's really been able to shine. The 2 episodes that he's done back in the Clone Wars stuff and this, and you can tell, and he said as much, he's watched the Clone Wars and watched what the voice actor Matt
Lantner?
Yep. Did for that role, and he used a lot of it because you can tell, you can feel it. What do you think about even this particular scene?
I liked it.
Yeah?
I know Anakin from the beginning.
Right.
So anytime he
invested
pops
in it.
up, I mean,
Yeah.
and I also am familiar with like the look of him because of the Clone Wars, and I know exactly, through the comics that they've done at the time. So yeah, and I think that's why the character of Ahsoka works for me too, because I was there for the Clone Wars movie, and so I know the history. I know, even I didn't watch the series, but I watched the movie, and there's, I feel like it's unfairly maligned. The story's kind of generic,
Yeah.
but the 2 of them are really good in it. It's a really good. So I didn't need to see the Clone Wars to see them evolve.
Yeah.
Or, I saw the movie, that was enough for me. Then jumping into this, I'm not lost with that stuff with them, and those are the moments I perk up. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the stuff I know.
I liked it
this.
also because it still showed how much she still takes his lessons, takes all the things, and still has all these kind of recordings and still trains with him. And I love this moment with her and Hu Yang where he's like, I never realized how considerate he was.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, he was a great master.
And I guess that's why for me, I know I had said I feel like everyone's so stoic in this, and she is too, but I've seen the progression of her character, even though I haven't seen it through 6 seasons of television. I've seen the progression of her. Whereas Sabine, I'm like, I don't know if this works. I don't.
Did you think that Ahsoka was a little less stoic in this one because she cracked?
No,
she cracked
Well,
a few
she's-
jokes.
I attribute this to Rosario Dawson. She does things with her head. She just can do a slight turn with her head or a look, and it's just, I kind of melt.
Yeah.
Like fanboy on her, and I'm just like, God, she's a good actress.
She was
like,
really-
She just does some things
Well,
with this character that are so subtle. She doesn't overplay it.
Well, but even this was like, she's in a different emotion here, and then she's like, well, what do you need from me? And he's like, well, the space whales are coming out of the thing. He's like, oh, okay. And then they crack a few jokes here.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you should have said something. He's like, I did. And then she laughs at him. And that was a very Ahsoka moment for me, for sure. And I love the relationship between these two.
Yeah, they're really good.
They're really good. And David Tennant is just crushing it as Hu Yang. One of my favorite droids.
What I love about I can't tell it's David Tennant.
Yeah.
I
Right.
love that.
Right.
I love that.
Same. And they have this great moment, and they're like, okay, well, we're coming out of it. And again, because you normally like the space battles and all that stuff.
This one I like.
I love this.
Yeah, this is good. It was smart.
When they came out of it and this thing opened up, it felt like something you saw at Star Tours, or you know what I mean, like one of those things where it's like, okay, here we go, and then it opens up, and then boom, like it just. And
The
Thrawn,
music was really good
The
at this scene,
music was
too.
good. The sound. This is the stuff. This is when you asked me earlier, like why it's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I just was so in the Star Wars of it all when this scene happened, like the little bombs are going out there that Thrawn put out there, and the whales are like, "What the hell's going on? We're just taking a stroll in the park, and the people are chucking things at our balls." And it's like, and the whales were like, "Screw this, let's jump out of here." And they all jump out of it.
It was like, the whales are taking the brunt.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, right.
Maybe not.
And I loved that because you and I would have been sitting here going, "Why are the whales sticking around? They should get the hell out of there." And that's what they did.
Yeah.
The whales said,
I'll tell you this.
F this.
I rolled my eyes at you and Steph way back when you were talking about those whales and how, whatever, you lost your mind when you first saw them. I was like, they're pretty awesome.
They're pretty awesome, and,
man.
they actually have delivered inside of live action more so than I could have possibly imagined.
But they don't overdo it.
No,
They don't
it's
overstay their welcome.
No,
I like
they're-
that.
because they're not talking. They're just they
You're not
communicate
force
with-
connecting with them or
No,
anything
they're
like that. It's just kind of like.
And this, dude, and what I said earlier, again, was the way this looked, like the difference in television. Like, look at that. That looks like something out of a movie. Like, that doesn't.
No, I'm not.
You know what I mean?
I'm not. The technical aspects of this show were not to be
It's one of the
haven't
things
said
I
anything
loved
bad
about
it.
this. I loved about the technical aspect of it, and I loved how
I laugh whenever she's flying that ship because I take back to the old interview with Harrison Ford where he's like, George, how do I fly it? Well, George, how do I fly it? Like he didn't know the line fucking. So he was making this move, like George Lucas was telling him, and she's got this thing now. It's like bike handles, and she's just like, I'm like, they really got to come up with some idea how to fly these ships better.
Well,
like the people that build them for the actors, because like need to come up with a way, like because she's just doing a bicycle handle back and forth here.
Well, either way, and Thrawn's got his
sex ship.
The whole thing's maneuvering it from up top, and he just kind of walks in. Tell me about the next thing, Gold Dust. And
I like the Gold Man.
yeah, me too. I hope he's. But what I will say though, same thing.
What?
Something needs to happen. I said last week something.
Nah,
like
he just needs to be a bad guy.
But I mean something devastating. He needs a win, because yes, he had people going. Well, he did win. His strategy worked, and he showed how much of a strategist he is. But like, what is it? Is it just the fact that he's escaping? It's like, let him escape. He's not that bad. We can take him out. What's the major threat?
Thrawn
to
or Gold Dust?
Thrawn.
Okay. Oh, I thought you meant Gold Dust.
Sorry,
I thought you meant Gold Dust.
Gold Dust. I mean,
Okay.
look, Gold Dust has to pretty much Enoch, right? But Gold Dust has to pretty much have like. I'd like to see him do something better than these stormtroopers did in this episode, right? Like he's got to be able to fight and scrap a little bit more, and better than Merrick did, because Merrick went out like a bitch too.
Or if he's just there's a little bit something else about him.
Just want to see, like, he's obviously not going to last, but let him do something. Yeah. And the same thing with Thrawn. Thrawn needs to do something devastating, because it's like
We got one episode left.
It doesn't matter if it's this episode. It just needs to be, as long as he gets out and the threat is real, and you're like, oh man, what's he going to do next? Does he escape? Does he make it? Because if he just makes it back, like, okay, well, he's not. What did he do? He just strategizes. We took him out. We beat him last time.
So you're saying all this has got to happen in the next episode?
No, not necessarily. But it's
when
like,
then?
but what's it going to lead to? Does it lead into Mandalorian? Does it lead into Skeleton Crew? Like, what's the overall threat?
Gotcha.
That it's just like,
what's the next? Instead of he shows up in Coruscant with his Star Destroyer, and suddenly it's like.
Because it's like, okay, he showed up. It's like,
I don't want to cut you off.
No,
I thought about this.
Oh, go ahead. Throw that anywhere.
Yeah, put that anywhere. I thought about this. So we've got these 8 episodes, and we assume there's going to be a second season. We're thinking that.
You would assume now, yeah.
Okay, and it builds a new movie. But you just can't keep having it build and build and build to the movie.
Yeah.
We have to have, and I thought about this last night, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1.
Yes.
It was always going to be a 2-part story.
Right.
So the end is whatever happens. But this movie was the hunt for the 2 halves of the key. And they accomplished that. So at the end of the first movie, they accomplished what they set out to at the beginning of the movie. Now the entity is still there. So that's going to be Part 2. But at the end of Part 1, we still had a satisfying conclusion. So for this movie, this season of 8 episodes, what is the conclusion?
100%.
And I don't know. And I've got 1 episode left.
Right. And that's very, I mean, look, if it's a 50-minute episode, which will probably be,
what's the end game for this?
Well, what is it? What
part?
What's the Empire moment at the end, right? Like, what's the moment that makes me go, oh, I can't wait to see where this goes?
But Empire still was a complete movie.
Yeah.
It was still, if we never got a 3,
well, so
if you never got a 3, you were still satisfied.
All right, who doesn't? Does anybody not make it out
Of next episode?
Yeah. Does anybody get taken?
No,
out?
they're all on board.
On either side.
I'll say this: all the players are still on the table.
On both sides.
Yep, they're all still there.
I don't think so. I think we lose a couple. We lose
Who?
I will guess.
I want to lose a Rebels crew eventually. Remember?
I think you need to, and if you want to really actually, like, if they wanted to turn it on their head, and there's no way in the world that they'll do it for a lot of different reasons. But they want
Ezra?
to no, Sabine. Yeah. If they wanted to turn it on its head, but they've already teased it with the lightsaber, so they're not going to kill her. Ahsoka, you can't kill because it's her show. Ezra, they just set him up to come back. They're not going to kill Hera, so they're not going to kill any of the rebels. No, they're not going to kill any of the rebels.
No, they won't. They won't.
I think you could. I don't think you lose. What's his Balin? Even though we lost Ray Stevenson, I don't think you lose.
Really?
Him. Not in the last episode. He's going on his own mission unless Thrawn does it.
So there's nothing set in stone for season 2.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Balin.
I think Balin makes it. I think Shin makes it.
I think both of them make it. And I don't think the turn happens for Shin yet.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do that later.
Morgan could eat it.
I think Thrawn will kill her if anything.
I don't know. Don't you think?
I don't know.
If you got a scrap,
That's a really tight bind.
Who she scrapped with last time?
If Balin's story is not finished, I know that sucks.
I don't know how they're going to do it.
That sucks because she's so good, and it's like you want a fitting conclusion. You don't want them just to be not part of it. You know, the character's there.
Right.
Someone made it. I saw someone, and again, they were very respectful. And it's like, hey, if it does continue and the character still lives, Gerard Butler.
I saw that too.
I was like, that's pretty great.
It's a very different.
I think we as fans would accept it. We just not just Gerard. If you continue on, because always like, oh, you can't like the Chadwick Boseman with Black Panther. It's like, if it's done respectfully, we will just go along for the ride.
Yeah.
We will go along and know, hey,
it's hard.
Life happened outside of this. We want to continue the character and honor what came before it.
Yeah, you know what's also so hard about it is that it's one of the best, if not the best villain in Star Wars in a very long time.
I'll say he's up there for me as in Daedra and Andor. Two vastly different
very
villains.
Different.
That's why I love the
Daedra
two
is
vastly
good,
different.
Yeah, Daedra's good.
But those are two additions to the Star Wars lore that I will forever be considered with Maul, Dooku, Grievous.
You know why I like Balin so much is because he's not that kind of mustache twirling villain.
It's the old
so much.
The villain that has honor. Like
Yeah.
you love there's something to said about a Joker or something. They're just
every
shitbags.
villain has something, right?
But the villains that you're just like, there's that code with him.
Well,
Like,
look what he does in general. Like, there's so much that happens in this episode. But Morgan already was asking. Like, I love everyone's scared shitless of Thrawn and Elon Thrawn, and
he does look a little like with that hair.
Yeah, he does absolutely. Has anyone wanted a Tesla? And so he's got
gold fleece.
He's got gold dust there, and
I love that design. Whoever designed that in Star Wars.
Well, you know what it is?
That's a fantastic design.
I can't remember where I read this. I want to give them props, but I can't remember where I read it. Apparently, that mask is like the mask for like I can't remember, is it the Romans? I can't remember, something along the lines for like the fallen or the dead soldier or something.
But that mask has never been seen in another character story. So it's not like he killed the character and took the mask.
No. It's something. It's from the witch. But look, when he disappears, by the way,
I get that.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I think Enoch has to do with what you're saying about history and then the word Enoch. And I want to say it's from the Bible, but I'm not the person to quote on that one. But I think it's from the Bible and Enoch and the story of Enoch.
But so this again had an Empire feel to it. They're like trying to hide.
Yeah, man.
They finally do it. And then there's this. What do you think about these moments where they're running around with the turtle people and he hears Sabine and she's like, look, they did that. My biggest gripe last week, they kind of did a little bit with the Empire.
But are you? I don't know. Like I just see Space Jesus when I see this guy.
Ezra?
It was a very distinct choice
give him the beard?
with the beard and the hair like that.
Sure.
Because
I don't understand.
I've saw memes like it's like they're like what people think Jesus looks like, and it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and like what real Jesus is, and it's him.
That's
like,
hilarious.
I was like, that makes a good point. But every time I see him, I'm like, and he's dressed kind of like a traveler. I'm like,
but here's the difference
Jesus
between
in this thing all
Obi-Wan.
the time.
Here's the difference between Obi-Wan living in Tatooine for 20 years,
Right.
whatever it was, and Ezra living there for 10. Obi-Wan said, "Okay, I'm going to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go buy a sandwich in the village. I'm going to go walk around a little bit. I'll make some friends with this. I'll learn the culture. I'll meet a person here or there. This guy just camps out with the turtles.
okay,
And but he doesn't know anybody else. It's like for 10 or 11 years, it's like no shit you want to get off the rock because you haven't had. You're not looking at Hera in the conference room. You're looking at like the way you are. You're looking at turtles everywhere you go. Turtles.
well, he's a Jedi. He's the warrior code, the monk way.
That was gone. Kanan clearly didn't listen to that. He's got Jason running around the joint.
well,
But it's
hey.
like, but so that to me, it's like why was he just hanging out? I thought he like when they showed
What's
up.
he gonna do?
Find
He's
some
stuck
other
there.
people. So anyone, this world that they're on,
Yeah,
it only has dead stormtroopers,
yeah,
witches,
yeah,
Thrawn,
yeah.
turtles,
Yep.
bandits.
Yep.
That's it. That's all that lives on the planet.
Well, if I had a choice between all those, I'm hanging out with the turtle people. They're like hobbits.
I mean, I
They're like
get
this
it, but-
cute little, like they're like, but we're just gonna do living and farming here. They're hobbits.
Smashing off in the socks every time.
Was
turtles.
Ezra's Is it a big thing about his eye color in Rebels? How blue it was
so funny
because
that you say that, 'cause
those
I had
contacts need to go.
It's so
they
funny.
stand out like
it's hilarious that you said that. I hadn't even heard about this. My friend wrote me the other day. He's just like those contacts. And I was like, who cares?
Because it's
Who cares?
It's the whole thing of you gotta respect because the fans will lose their shit if they didn't have blue eyes. But
who cares? That's such a trivial thing.
Because if
Who
it takes you
cares?
out of the story for
It
the
takes you out.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Ezra.
It's a valid point. His contacts suck.
This happens, and they have this conversation, and they talk about this. There's all these different things. But Sabine pulls one of these moments again, Mike, in this scene. She tells him about the Emperor might be. We think that's what they say. They say he's dead. They tell him about. They don't mention Luke, which is fine.
Yeah.
But they tell. He fills him in on everything, and then she's like, "Well, how is Ahsoka? I haven't seen Ahsoka in a little bit. Well, it's complicated. How about you tell your friend that your other friend is dead?
Can you imagine
if you think that she's dead because she says as much later? You know the person that you saved in the World Between Worlds and you had this great connection with. I'm not going to tell you that I think she's dead. He's like, what happened to her? That's complicated. All right.
That's like you and I taking a road trip across the country. Like, hey, remember that story you wanted to tell me? We got time. We got 3,000 miles. I'll tell you later.
But
tell me now. We got.
But imagine
24 hours to tell me a story,
Imagine if
dude.
I thought one of our close friends, if I thought one of our close friends had passed away,
and
it was also a close friend of yours, and you hinted like, well, whatever happened to that person?
Whatever happened?
And I'd be like, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Turtles.
I go, what do you mean it's complicated? Tell me
what happened. But because at the end, I thought that they actually tuned in when she said it's complicated or whatever she said, I thought he actually went, oh, that kind of complicated. And I thought he played it as if she was saying that he passed. So I was like, okay. But then when he says later on, when he goes, oh, you thought she was dead? It's like, yeah. Didn't you?
I get you. Yeah.
That was, but it's just some of the, it does play sometimes. You can tell the kind of animation writing doesn't, and it's not a downplay in animation writing. So you can get away with that kind of writing in animation where it's like, oh, here's this thing because you're moving so fast at 23 minutes. And, and it's like, okay.
This time you've got the moments to sit in that. And you're just kind of like.
And you should have said
okay, that's an interesting point.
But then the flip side to it is that they have a really great moment here that I loved.
Okay.
And this is, again, another Empire Strikes Back kind of moment where they're talking, they have a discussion. I think first it flips back to Balin and Shin, where like, okay, look, here's this is a Game of Thrones type shot, isn't it? I mean, you don't watch Game of Thrones, but it looks like
I know what a Game of Thrones
like
is. Jesus,
but you don't need to tell me that. But then they send the witches in, and the witches come in. They need to sniff out where Ahsoka is, and they're putting the plan into motion. And this is the part that I loved. This is that Empire Strikes Back moment of where
let's go. The suspension
of disbelief.
No, the anticipation's killing me. That's what I wanted to say.
But that's it. But this is it. The moment they have the moment. She can hear it, but same type of thing. Like, what do you hear? I don't know.
Why can't he hear it?
She's not talking to him though. She's not talking to him.
I got you. Just like I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And it was the connection's there.
Yeah.
And then Goldust goes back on it. What's Goldust have on his plate? It looks like a design or something, but
I don't know.
Either way, and we just kind of as we get through all this. The space battles alone, like there was a lot of these battles and a lot of the great sound, but then it turned into a whole overall battle where the turtle people are trying to run through. They see, but this is again the moment that I brought up, where it's Sabine does it again. She loves not getting information because then as they show up, he goes, "These friends of yours?" She's like, "No." He's like, "Lightsabers?" Like, how about this on that long car ride that we're talking about that you brought up, right? How about, by the way, not only is all this Thrawn stuff, there's a girl, this is a woman who stabbed me. She is a lunatic. She tried to kill me another time. I had a battle with her. She's got a lightsaber. That's what you got to be prepared for, that they're potentially coming after us. Who's that? Oh, I didn't tell you about that one. What are you
So is the show good writing or is it not? Because you're pointing all these things that are not good writing.
I said there are a couple of moments, like I said in the beginning of this and that, there are moments that drive me nuts as far as like little character moments.
I wish the people that are out there with the Everything is Awesome crew.
I'm not on that.
No, I know you're not. But they would watch this and sometimes would they go, Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why they're not
they would
telling
defend
us.
it. They would defend it.
What's the defense?
But here's because
there is no defense.
Because this is something like for me, what I like is that I don't. It's something that bugs me, but it's not something that takes away the enjoyment of the show.
See now,
for me.
because you're so invested, it doesn't. For me, I'm kind of like
takes you out of it. See, because
that long car ride, I zoned out. I was like me going to Disney World for the 2-hour trip. I'm in the back seat like this.
yeah, but the next thing for me is
Something happens. Like I hear something. Are we there yet? What happened? We get to the battle yet?
But that doesn't do it for me because for me,
Man,
it's the follow up to it.
I'm the a-hole.
But it's the follow up for me because the next scene that pops in is Balin,
And
who
I'm
just
glued to the
crushed-
television.
That's what I mean, though. So it's like if there's about 90% of great moments in this episode that make me go, it was a great episode.
Okay.
The 10 I can point out, and that's why when you'll get a ball bag, go type in and go, like, oh, you guys are just negative. It's like if you listen, and I always write this back to people who write that. I go, I think you commented on the wrong video. You might have went through it and commented on the wrong video because for me the everything is awesome stuff is like you should be able to have that conversation where it's like, okay, yeah, but I like what we talked about with Sabine last week. What I will say is there was a lot of people who respectfully and had arguments for us why they thought it did make sense that she didn't say anything to him.
Okay.
I didn't agree with it.
Yeah.
But they presented it in a way that was like, no, because if you haven't seen your friend in a while, it's the last thing you really want to bring up. And this, and I was like, yeah, but there's just some information you should have had. But then there's other people who go, you don't know what you're talking about because you just, it's like, stop approaching things that way. It's like, look, you don't agree with anything that Mike said. I don't. I never agree with Mike.
Yeah.
That's not true. But we can have the conversation about it, and that's kind of the overall point. And so, when you ask me that question of, well, if you see the bad writing, how do you like the episode? Because you have stuff like this that is fantastic, like whatever the hell he's going through right now, and he's able to still act as a master and tell Shin the stuff that he's got going down and the way that he plays it, and she's just crushing it. She's so good. You don't like her either? Oh, okay.
She's one of the people I do like.
All right,
I
take
told
it
you
easy.
that.
All right. Well, who knows? You change your tune every
Jesus.
second. No, not Jesus. So then she knows the mission that she's going on. He goes, look, don't be a moron though. You got stuff you got to take care of. Go take these guys who will probably get killed in 20 seconds, but go and do your thing. But be smart. And she listens to him at the end though.
Yeah.
When Ahsoka's. Did you think she was going to turn when Ahsoka was like, hey?
No.
Okay.
But I do see it coming. There's moments with
I
her.
don't
I'm
think
like,
she's coming anywhere. I don't think
you don't think she's going to turn?
good anymore? No, I think she's going down the dark side.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think she's turning anymore.
I don't know, man. I see all the signs on her.
No,
I think she turns on Balin and kills Balin.
I think that if she was going to do it, it would. You can't.
Nah, you don't want to rush that.
But you don't tease it like this, and then she does it again. I think you keep her bad, and I think good on Filoni for doing that.
Okay, hey, go for it.
Because that was one of my biggest concerns that they were going to do.
I know it was.
Thrawn knows exactly what he's doing. He sends out these morons to go, and again, keep the time. This waste time, and then didn't you love this moment? To me, because one of my biggest things with Return of the Jedi is when the Ewoks are like, tink, and then they're knocking people over. This turtle shoots this thing at the guy's head and it just bounces off like it was nothing. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Before we finish up the episode, I do also want to tell you guys about one more of our sponsors here too. And you've heard me talk about BetterHelp. I've talked about BetterHelp many times. I'll tell you a little bit more about them right now. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Everybody's been in that position, man. You're trying to go to sleep, and your thoughts just keep going and going and going. You're talking, and you have worries in your life, and you're like, I can't turn it off. I can't rest. I can't sleep, and I can't do this. And everybody's been there. I've been there. You've been there. And a great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to be able to talk them out, talk them through to somebody. Therapy will give you a place to do that, so you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. I've mentioned it many times on this show. Roxy Stryer is a very close friend of mine. She's on the show all the time, and she talks about how BetterHelp was one of those places she was able to go. She was able to benefit from it. She was able to talk to somebody, and it really worked out. I've got people very close inside of my family who's BetterHelp right now, and it has been absolutely beneficial to them. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's online, it's designed to be convenient, it is flexible, and it is suited to your schedule. All you have to do really is just fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime, no additional charge. So get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/bigthing today. You get 10% off your first month when you do that. That's BetterHelp.com/bigthing. All right, thank you to our friends over at BetterHelp, and really appreciate what they've done for Roxy, what they've done for people inside of my family, and you should check them out. Links in the description. I put all of the sponsors in the first comment, and I pin it, so if you're able to, you have the means to, please go and check it out. It helps out the show more than you can possibly imagine. Okay, so we get back to the turtles slinging rocks, and it does nothing. And even so, Sabine even sees this, and she's like, "What are these? What are they doing?" He's like, "They're peaceful." It's like, yeah, but peaceful and like defenseless are just two different things. And this battle was pretty cool, and the technology, and as you said, you gave it props too. How this looked pretty great.
Yeah,
it looked pretty great. And this battle goes on for a little bit, and this was they've got to get to this place where they find this is that moment I was telling you. Those friends of yours, yeah, that's the one I told you about on the 2-hour car ride. And then this thing looks like something out of Labyrinth, doesn't it? Remember the movie Labyrinth?
I remember Labyrinth.
It was like Labyrinth. But then this battle happens down here, and this is
this was good.
The switch back and forth of Ezra or Ahsoka finally kind of making it closer to them.
Yeah,
and the standoff between her and Balin was great because you're like, well, what's going to happen? Did you think at one point that maybe Ahsoka was going to take him out?
No.
Because they do have this great standoff. It does play a very Game of Thrones-y.
Yeah.
And the way that it's shot together, he's like, I can't let you pass. And she's like, I don't have time for this. He's like, I know.
Do we ever figure out if he has an orange lightsaber or a red one?
It's kind of like off tint. Yeah, something like that. And then this is the moment. This is my most disliked moment of the whole show. This drove me nuts.
You know that's the way it was written, right?
I know, but
I'm just saying.
It drove me nuts. I was very surprised that Dave Filoni wrote something like this. This surprised me. This surprised the hell out of me. I couldn't.
How would they defend this part?
The same way those people on Twitter are. Is that a
Probably.
Jedi doesn't necessarily need, it doesn't need a lightsaber, and I know
But
that obviously. But if
They
you
had
have
said from the very first movie, weapon of a Jedi Knight.
it's if it's there, I understand. Like,
Yeah, if it's there.
I understand if it's not there.
Hey.
They don't need it.
You don't need your lightsaber. Don't worry. I'm a Jedi. I got this.
Right. It's there, but if it's
I am more than my lightsaber. I don't have it. I'm more than it.
if it would have went like this, here's your lightsaber. No, you don't have any weapons. You need it. I can use the Force.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's your lightsaber. Well, you've got 2 blasters.
And your Mando
I'll take
armor.
I'll take
and you
the
got that
lightsaber.
flamethrower
Yeah,
and that
sure.
rope. Give me that.
I don't need it anymore. What do you mean you don't need it anymore? It's like it's yours. Take it.
Or on the other hand, if you've gone, that is a weapon of aggression. I no longer
But
go
it's
down that
not.
path.
But
I know that,
yeah.
but it could be.
But if he had some kind of reasoning for not
Reasoning,
to,
like-
no, because that would have made it definitive they won't ever use it again.
Then that
It's
would
like-
that's a strong choice.
But he's flipping.
It's a
people in-
strong
it-
choice, and
I-
that's what acting is strong choices.
I just thought it was so. I didn't like that moment.
It was
at
a
all.
weird moment.
I didn't like it.
I don't know the history of that, but I was like, huh?
Yeah, and he's like,
There's those contacts. Go back to that one. There it is. Look at those damn things.
don't-
They stand out like a
I don't mind its context at all.
stick up your ass.
But he's and I like the idea.
That is a cool looking shot, though.
It's a cool looking shot, and look, he can throw hands.
Yeah, they're fighting again.
Yeah.
This whole little sequence was great. I love,
But this could have been
whoever-
over in 10 seconds if you give
You
the guy a
shut your mouth.
lightsaber.
I would have gotten that then. There we go. You didn't get the lightsaber because we got this cool fight afterwards. There we go. Whoever came up with the concept of the way the Mandos fight with their armor and the grapple guns, I know it started in Mando 3. If the stunt coordinator, they were the people behind that kind of carried that language through these films. Anytime a Mando starts fighting, I love it.
Yeah, and then we jump back to the fight. It's where I love that idea. Wait, before we did that, this was a great moment. I tell you, even though he doesn't have a lightsaber, she comes up, he senses it. She swings at him, and then his hair is on fire.
Hey, you got singed. I got a cut.
And I love it. He's like, whoa, you got close. And because his attitude, I will say this, he's doing a great job of kind of representing an older Ezra.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I didn't, and I hope maybe it's a choice. I don't think he was threatened by her at all.
No,
Like-
he wasn't threatened by her.
Yeah, I like that.
No, me
I was
too.
like, that's kind of. Now I don't know anything about Ezra as far as how he became a Jedi, but in that moment, I knew a lot about him.
Yeah,
So I was like, okay, that's pretty good.
And the difference, and I think that Sabine definitely showed a little bit more maturity in this episode than she did in the last episode. But that was the biggest criticism, right? It was that she still is acting like she's a teenager and she's almost 30 years old. He seems like he's almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
And he seemed like that to me is always the stuff where this does seem like I've always had that conversation about like Alden playing Solo,
Right.
which I thought he's a great actor. I thought it was a good character. I just didn't think it was Solo. And people are like, well, he just didn't become that version of him. And I'm like, dude, It's only like 5 or 6 years removed.
Not
from,
even
from
that.
New
I
Hope.
think it's a couple years.
Something like that. He's gonna have the essence. He doesn't have the essence. Ezra would not be acting like a 15-year-old,
No.
but he's got the essence
See,
of who
now
the
I get
character
that.
was.
Yeah.
So like that, and he does. He's been through it before, and so that was a great moment. I like that moment actually a lot. Even though he should have had the saber, but he doesn't. And he's dodging things left and right. And Shin is just all about. And this is what Baylan pretty much said. She is tunnel vision. She just wants to take Sabine out, and Sabine comes in with the saber to save it. And then he even said, "You're outnumbered," and that's of course kiss of death when the ships start coming in. But this battle was great because Baylan even says, like, "You're not going to be able to defeat me." She's like, "I don't really have to." And in comes Hu Yang, which was great. And then, whee, Baylan was flying.
Ray upside down. Like
Yeah. But this is what I loved about Baylan here. He doesn't like get mad, start chasing her. He just goes, you can see, and this is how great of an actor he was. You just feel in that moment, he's like, I guess that's the way that was supposed to happen. You just feel that from the way he's looking down and the things that he's been saying in the back. He's just like, okay, I guess that's just because he's really feeling those moments out with the certain paths, and then as we're shoving turtle people back into things, and all this stuff as it's firing down. And Thrawn already knows. Thrawn knows exactly what's happening. That strategy of Thrawn and the idea of Thrawn, we get to see the strategies. This part, you see, I'll give you the where you can say, well, how did you like this episode? You got another criticism on it. This is another one. They corner Ezra. And this did feel like right out of Rebels. They corner Ezra and Sabine.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers have them dead to rights. This woman hates them. She says, kill them. And Ezra goes, wait a minute, don't kill me. Don't listen to your commander. Listen to me. Don't kill me. Let's go get ice cream. Let's go hang out. Take us in as prisoners. And she says again, kill them. And they still don't do it. These stormtroopers suck. It's like, why aren't you listening? And then she's like, kill him. And then Ahsoka comes flipping into the place. And this is when it gets awesome, though. Like, that's one of those faces you're talking about, too, right? Like,
yes. But I think her intro into that scene was a little
corny.
I don't know if corny is the right word. It was just kind of like, here, go with me.
Oh.
Go away. Here I am.
I kind of like that, though.
And I know that was dealing with the volume, and you had limited space to do your. I think a better shot would have been her cresting over the thing, jumping off of her beast lightsabers out, lands in front of them, slices.
Sure,
instead of just like
kind of falling in the shot.
I'm in frame.
I get it.
I'm off. You're off camera. Okay, just move a little bit, and when I say action, just jump into frame.
But you show, by the way, how a swordless or saberless Ezra wasn't really intimidated. Ahsoka wasn't intimidated at all. Just throws her around like she's throwing around a kindergartner. Yeah. Right. And then obviously
Hu Yang
comes in, and it's over. They think they've won this battle. They take out the stormtroopers. Ezra starts tossing people around. But this is when Thrawn says,
"Looking at the board game."
Yeah, he said, "We got him. We got him." And she's like, "What are you talking about? They're all put together." He's like, "Let me show you." I love when he said that. He goes, "Come here.
Come over to my table, please.
Here. Check this out. See this? This is my ship. In my ship, all these yellow dots are almost
What are the
full.
yellow dots?
Whatever they are, they need them to get the hell out of Dodge.
What is that?
Well, it's a power, I guess. He's been powering up the ship, and whatever he does, now he knows he's going to get out. And then so they.
Why weren't they powering up that ship, waiting to be rescued?
I guess that's what maybe didn't have all the power. Because that's what they did when they brought. That's what the missing pieces were when they brought the stuff over.
Gotcha.
And got reunited.
Okay.
As we get closer, then Shin knows, all right, I got to get the hell out of Dodge. And this is the moment that I think some people are going to be like, oh man, Kristian was right. I knew it though. I didn't feel it. I did not once say she's going to turn. I said, nah, she's not going to turn. This is the moment where
Why would she have turned there? She wouldn't have turned right there.
Well, because she's going to listen to Baylan. She goes, come on, I'll help you out.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, she goes, I'll help you out. And
but see, what I saw right there, she is like, I'll help you. She is conflicted.
I don't think she is at all.
I think she's conflicted.
I think I think at this moment, it goes back to that moment that when Baylan was like, don't let victory get, the urge for victory get in your way because it'll lead to defeat. And she was like, I could try to kill these people right now, or I can get the hell out of here. And she listened to Baylan, and she got the hell out of here. I think that was kind of the point of it all. So she leaves. She jumps out. She's like, I had to let her go. She jumps on the wolf rat and takes off. And then smiles happen. which
Well,
is
I'll
good.
tell you what happened next.
The hug? You like the hug?
A hug, and she touched his face and everything. That's what I wanted to see last episode.
Right. Well, there was a hug. It was just not as...
Sabine and him are closer, but Ahsoka showed more of a thing for her.
Well,
him.
either way, reunited, and it feels so good.
With the turtle people?
The turtle people. And then we kind of end with this shot of this is how it's all going to go down. We're reunited, back together, and now it's got to end poorly. It's got to end like for them. It's something bad's got to happen.
Next episode.
We're
We're going out on an empire turn.
It should.
Okay.
It should if we're telling a longer story, and if it relates to Skeleton Crew and relates to Mandalorian and relates to potential season 2, it's got to. So.
I don't think so. I don't think any of that crew's dying just because
I don't think
we've
any of the
seen
crew's dying
Zeb
now.
and
Next
they're
one?
going to throw Zeb in there. They're going to have the whole Rebels crew back together.
I don't think they're going to die in the next one. Now,
Okay.
But if Thrawn returns to the galaxy that we know and causes some crap, like blows something up or
Gotcha.
major attack or something along those lines and starts a second war, that would be pretty great.
Okay.
I don't know. So overall, I like the episode. Mike clearly didn't.
I didn't say that.
What do you mean you didn't say that? You just not. Do you want to take next week off them, or you want to finish it? What?
I'm allowed to have an opinion
I
that
didn't say
varies
you
from
were.
everyone else, aren't I?
I didn't say that you weren't.
I just do
this
not-
is why I love having you on the show.
When I hear people
just
that say
know
that that's
you
the
now.
best episode of this season, I have
just
to.
said that.
I have to go. Yeah, and I have to go. How?
But I just told you.
But you've made points. You saw things that you didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you give higher praise to past episodes than you did to this one. So there.
Well, I gave high praise to which one?
I don't remember
Exactly.
the Ahsoka one with in the World Between Worlds.
Well, that was
You loved that
I
one.
loved the moments of the. I love that episode, but I loved the moments of the Clone War stuff and all, and the way that was a particular moment of things that she had to go through. This one to me was just had set together the whole plan of Thrawn in motion. It brought
What's
them
his
all back
plan
together
though?
to get the hell out of Dodge.
And then what?
Attack
Where?
Ralph's.
Who?
They're going to the
They're
frozen
going
section.
to Ralph's.
The frozen
They,
section.
they're throwing war on
That's it.
almond milk.
They don't like almond milk.
Jesus Christ.
Do you like almond milk? Put it in the comments.
Christ.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us here today. Appreciate you. Make sure you comment, get part of the discussion. Really helps us. And if you have the means to do it, you can get one of our wonderful sponsors. Please consider it. But if you can't, click that like button, throw a comment in there. Let's be part of the conversation here. Share this episode. And also, I'm going to do an out of the theater reaction that I'm going to post for the Paw Patrol movie. That's right. Saw it with my 2 kids yesterday. Going to post that. Got some other things coming. The finale for One Piece. That's going to post probably tomorrow. So we got a lot going on here. So if you haven't already done it, show a little class. Hit that button. Thank you for joining us here today on the Sith Council. Big thing. Myself and Mike Kalinowski. We'll see you on the flip side.